AM Sports Report brought to you by Buffalo Peak Golf Course. It's a beautiful 18-hole link-style golf course out in Union. Dana and his team have done a great job out there. I say it all the time. Go check out the Pro Shop. They have a really good selection. They have a whole bunch of new stuff, and they're just doing a great job out there. Buffalo Peak Golf Course. Meet me at the Peak. EOU women's soccer season ended last night, barring an unlikely bid at the national tournament. It would be an at-large bid, but it's highly unlikely. They lost to Northwest in the semis of the CCC tournament, 1-0. They had a really good season, though. I think they end up 7-5, 7-5-4. So 4 ties, 5 losses, 7 wins, which is a good season. I mean, you can't really complain about that. EOU football ends their season on the road on Saturday at Montana Western at 1 p.m. And that would be 1 p.m. their time, so it would be noon our time, I believe. Yep. So, yeah, I mean, kind of disappointing season for EOU football, but like I said, they got progressively better. Yesterday, I released my sports show with the 2 seniors, Carson Brown and Josh Mendoza, and I also put out a little Instagram reel on the history and kind of the idea behind the number 7 and why people get that number as a legacy number, and it changes every couple of years based on who's the leader of the team at the time, basically wears number 7, and that's why that number gets passed around. Jace Billingsley wore it, Justin Hughes wore it, Kai Quinn wore it, Solo Taylor wore it, and then Josh Mendoza is the latest to wear it, and he was on the show yesterday, and we talked about that a little bit. EOU volleyball, like I said, the CCC tournament is this weekend. There's games all day tomorrow starting at 9:30 a.m. That's the quarterfinals. So the 2 quarterfinal matches are at 9:30, 12:30. The winners of those games, it's crazy how this tournament works. So there's already been games on Tuesday, right? That gets people into the quarters. The people that lose on Tuesday don't even come over here. The 9:30, 12:30 game are the quarters to match up EOU and Corbin, who are the 1 and 2 seeds. So the winners of those games, the lowest seeded team left will play Corbin at 5:30, and then at 5, and then the highest seeded team left will play EOU at 7:30 tomorrow night. So that the big information that you need to know is EOU plays at 7:30 tomorrow night.
Okay.
And it's going to be packed. The student section at EOU games, I mean, the baseball guys and the cross country boys, they show up for volleyball. It's exciting. And I posted a thing on my Instagram reel about getting Monty there, because Monty's never had any games. And I did a little poll, right, BC?
Yeah.
I said, how many want to see Monty at this game? And it was like 97% with like 150 votes.
Wow.
But I don't know if they'll be able to make it happen or not, because it's kind of, I don't want to give anything away, but Monty's not real. There's somebody inside that suit. And they have a hard time finding somebody to do it. She's like, well, why don't you do it? I said, yeah, that suit ain't gonna fit me.
Yeah,
like there's no way you'd have to get a customized suit.
And Monty holding a camera.
Yeah, and you have to move, and you have to like run around and jump and do push-ups, and you know what I mean? But it would be cool to see Monty at more games. I've had a lot of people actually talk to me about that, like, hey, why isn't Monty ever at football games? And I finally asked, like, what is the deal? They just have a hard time finding people to do it, and they pay too, but they can only use college kids. So it's one of those things. EOU volleyball, though, that's going to be exciting. Speaking of that, I had a couple of the young ladies on my show today, and here's a little clip of what they had to say. What about you personally? What do you like about Eastern Oregon, like the area?
Well, when I visited, it reminds me a lot of Wenatchee, just like smaller. And honestly, what really drove me to Eastern was just like the team and khaki, if I'm being honest. But I really love like how tight the community is, and like even like across like sports teams, it's really nice that like when you see like other sports teams in the training room, you can say hi, and like around campus, it's like and we all love supporting each other, which is really nice.
Why should I come play at EOU with you guys?
I think that, I love that I went to a JUCO, but I think that like khaki is so good at developing skills. And I wish that I would have like known that maybe a little bit before, because like I just started getting like some skills down, and I wish that I had more years to like play with her. And I think that no matter where you're at, like she won't necessarily look at what the skills you have. She will look at those skills that can be like found, and she will find them in you. And so she's like super supportive. The whole team like dynamics, whole atmosphere has been so fun. And it's just like, if you're on the bench, if you're on the court, if you're outside, if you're in the classroom, like this place in this community is, it's like so fun to be a part of. Like everyone wants everyone to succeed.
Today, 5:30, and I mean, not the AM sports report, on the sports show, Adrian Washington and Britt Vaughn from EOU Volleyball. They were both really good interviews, and that these volleyball girls, they're all the same, man. They're all smart. You know what I mean? Like they show up on time. Like I don't have to worry. You know what I mean? Well, actually, pretty much all EOU sports. It's not like the high school where I'm like sitting here worried. Like,
are they going
to show up?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or am I going to have to like call?
Yeah.
The good thing is I know most of the high school kids' parents, so I can like send their parents a dirty.
That makes
message,
a difference,
right? I'm going to make a post later today regarding the local AAU boys programs needing help. They need coaches. They need players. I talked with Sean Daggett yesterday a little bit, who's in charge of AAU here. We're in trouble. Like if we don't get more kids, signing up for sports, we're like the next few years, we're going to have some troubles with sports in high school if we don't have more involvement from parents and kids in these younger groups. So I'll make a post later today about AAU, and I'll also talk about it on my sports show today. And sports report brought to you by Buffalo Peak Golf Course. Meet me at the Peak.